Hi everybody and welcome to Tosso Show. We're gonna continue to be on the PlayStation Now app for probably the last time, and that's why I'm doing those videos in order to show you all the games that used to be on PlayStation Now before it moves to PlayStation Plus Premium. So we were on the H, so let's do the H. Here you can see Akuoki Stories of a Shinseng Gumi, which I think is a visual novel. I never played it. Then the next one is Hamilton's Great Adventure, same thing, I never played it. It seems to be some kind of probably puzzle game. Yeah, action puzzle. Hamster Ball, once again, never played it. Seems to be some kind of like racing game. Next is Handball 16. This is like a handball game. I don't even know what handball is really. Well, it's a sport, but I think I played that in the past, but it's more like soccer but using your hand, I assume, because it's not really rugby or American football or what you call football in the US. Alright, next is Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life Special Edition. Same thing, I didn't play the game. I think that's within those that were supposed to be on the PlayStation Classic, but so far nothing was said about it. It's a PlayStation 2 game, as you can see here. It's if you wonder, Harvest Moon is some kind of farm simulator. Harvest Moon Save the Homeland, which is another one, PlayStation 2. Same thing. Same notion than the A Wonderful Life. Heavenly Sword, which is a famous game from PlayStation 3 because it was one of the first ones that came out as to show like the quality of the design and all those kind of stuff. I didn't see it within the PlayStation games that were given on PlayStation Plus. Hopefully it's back, it's gonna be there, but anyway. I never played it. Heavy Fire Afghanistan, never played this one either. Seems to be a shooter. Heavy Fire Shattered Spear, same thing. Seems to be a shooter. Heavy Rain, I definitely finished this game. That's one of the games that makes me want to buy a PlayStation 3 to begin with. That's the PlayStation 4 version here, so a little bit more like updated. And I know that this one is on PlayStation Plus as well. So it will be back. It's a very good game. It's more like a QTE adventure game, which plays a little bit weird. I really think that they made a great progress on Detroit. It looks more like playable. Heavy Rain has some kind of quirks that are a little bit weird, kind of like when you play Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill 3 in 3D mode. Anyway, it's a great game. I really recommend it. Next is Hello Neighbor. So I know that Hello Neighbor is on a lot of platforms, which is great. I never played it before, but it seems like it's a sandbox stealth horror game. Yeah. That's all I know about it. High Stakes on the Vegas Strip Poker Edition. Yeah, it's a poker game. I mean, what else is there to say? I didn't play it. Hitman 2, which actually does not work anymore because Hitman 2 is not anymore on the PlayStation Now. Horde. Horde is a game that apparently you play as a dragon. I never played it, so I don't know. Next is Hohokam. Hohokam is like one of those games that is kind of weird but cute at the same time. It's not Loco Roco or whatever the name it is, but it's pretty similar. I do think Hohokam is within the PlayStation Plus collection, so it should still be there, but I'm not 100% sure. Homefront The Revolution. We used to have the other Homefront, by the way. I never played it. I know it's an FPS. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. I did do a game preview on this one. It's a great game, I like it. Sometimes I feel a little bit weird in this game because it's an open world, so you never know like if you're supposed to go somewhere and there will be suddenly a sub-quest that you don't know about or not. So it makes you waste a lot of time, to be fairly honest, especially for somebody like me that really wants to do every single sub-quest in a game. But it's a beautiful game. It's definitely a beautiful game. I think it plays very well. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to play. Horizon Forbidden West apparently will have a game trial on PlayStation Plus, on PS Plus. And this game, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, will be on PS Plus as well. Alright, let's go next to Hot Shots Golf World Invitational. I think that Hot Shots Golf is scheduled to be there as well. But I don't know if it's this version because I don't think I saw this one. It's a golf game. Hot Shot Golf Out of Bounds. Same thing. This one I don't think it was within the list, but I know that it's within those items that they said that we're gonna have eventually on PlayStation Plus. Next is Hot Shots Tennis. I didn't know they did a tennis game of it too, and that's a PlayStation 2 game. Yeah, same thing again, like the other Hot Shots. So far I didn't see it on the list, but apparently it's supposed to be there. How to Survive Storm Warning Edition. Never heard of this game, I don't even know what it is about. It seems that it's a zombie thing again. So I assume it's a simulation game. Hunted, The Demon's Forge. A fantasy action game. I don't know much about it, unfortunately. It's a Bethesda game, so it's interesting. Next, Hunter's Trophy 2 America. Yeah, not my kind of game. I'm gonna probably skip here, but yeah. Hunter's Trophy 2 Australia. Yeah, I just don't understand those kind of games. I'm sorry, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's better to do it virtually than actually really do it. So, yeah. And Hustle Kings. Hustle Kings, I don't know what it is, but apparently it's we're playing pools. Interesting. And by the way, I don't want to judge anybody that hunts, right? But it's just not my thing. I feel it's better to make sure that a lot of animals stay on the world, so like that we don't have any issue in getting rid of, you know, certain species from the world, which I don't think is a good thing. And apparently PlayStation now is telling me drop the subject and go back to the next letter. Alright, so we're gonna do that. Let's go to the I with I Am Bread. I heard about that game. I just don't know. I don't know what it is about. Like you play with a bread as an action. I never played it personally. Ib and Ob. I never played this one too. It's a cooperative game, puzzle game. It seems cute. Could be interesting to still have. Eco. Well, very famous Eco. Obviously, I don't know. Are you saying Eco or Ico? I assume that it's Eco but because of Japanese way to say it too, I would say I'd probably say Eco instead of Ico. But anyway, it's a great game. It's an action game. You always have to make sure that you save a certain character similar to, well, Brother is kind of similar to it, really. Not the opposite around, not the opposite way around because Eco came up first. I think this one is on the PS Plus. In Space We Brawl. I'm not sure about this one. It seems to be some kind of shooter. Industry Giant 2. It seems to be some kind of simulation game. I never played it. Infamous. So Infamous will be part of PS Plus. As far as I'm aware, all the Infamous games will be in. It's like an action game. Infamous 2. So that's the second chapter. Infamous 2 Festival of Blood, which is kind of like a DLC. Yeah, they separated it here, but I don't know if it's gonna be separated anymore. Hopefully it's gonna be connected. And the last one, Infamous Second Son, which is a PlayStation 4 game. I always heard great things about the Infamous franchise. I need to play it one of these days. Infinite Mini Golf. Never played this one. I don't know what it is. Well, obviously it's about golf. Mini golf in this case. Injustice Gods Among Us Ultimate Edition. It's a fighting game. I never played it, but it looks pretty cool because it's using all those characters from DC Comics in it. Inside My Radio. I don't know what it is about, but probably some kind of music rhythm puzzle thing. Well, rhythm platform adventure it says. Never played it. Interpol, The Trail of Dr. Chaos. Oh, I never heard of this one. I didn't even realize where was that. It's probably this game, like I said, like that looks like a page and you just go around the thing, kind of like an adventure game. But not like point and click style. Invisimals, The Lost Kingdom. So Invisimals was a whole brand that was created by Sony where you can play with AR capacity, and that started as soon as the PSP as far as I'm aware. So this one is a PS3 one. I would be curious to see if they can add them back into the PS Plus. I didn't hear from them that we're gonna add this, or at least like from what they shared with us so far, and it's not part of the ones that they shared in Asia market. Ironcast, I don't know what kind of game is that. Seems like you control like big vehicles. And that's it for the I. So we did H-I. Now let's go to J. J, so it starts with Jerry McGruff's Off-Road. Seems to be like a racing game. Jetpack Joyride Deluxe. I love Jetpack Joyride. That was one of those first games that once I had the phone, I had to play it like for forever. It's a very dumb game, for the only thing that you do is making sure that your characters is not encountering anything that's gonna block it. Because if he's getting touched, it's the end. And the thing is that since you're on a jetpack, it goes super fast, and then there's a lot of little power-ups that you can find all around. It's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. I did not do a game preview of this one for. Jimmy Johnson, Anything with an Engine. Never heard of that. It's an Extreme Mario Kart type racing game, apparently, from what's written here. Joe Danger 2, the movie. I never play any of the Joe Danger games, and I don't know, maybe it's a movie. I never heard of this. Alright, next, Joe Davis Lone Wolf Console Edition. I don't know what that is. Apparently it's an action. I don't know. It's probably an action game, an RPG. Who knows? Journey to the Savage Planet. That's the game that was created by one of the Google Studio. It's available obviously on Google Stadia, and that's where I'm gonna play it because we have a special edition of it over there. This seems to be the classic edition. It seems to be a fun game. I think it's kind of like an FPS, but kind of like an action FPS with puzzle elements, I assume. I think. I'm not 100% sure. I have to check it out. Journey. Journey is part of a PlayStation Plus program. They're gonna have it in it. It's a beautiful game. It's a very quiet game. Very similar to Flow and Flower, made by the same team. You have to just do certain stuff. Sometimes things are not being explicitly mentioned to you, so you may have to figure out certain things by yourself. But overall, it's just stunning, and it's just a very quiet experience. It can be pretty meditative when you think about it. I didn't enjoy a game preview of it but I did play it a little bit. Judge D, the City God case. Don't know anything about that. I assume that it's like an adventure game from what it's written here. Next is Jump Jet Rex. Don't know much about that either. I think it's on Black Nut Cloud Gaming. For those that have like cloud gaming available, like all the cloud gaming platforms. It seems to be a platformer. And that's it for the J. Well, let's move to the K, shall we? Alright, Karateka. Oh, it's created by Jordan Mechner. Oh, interesting, I should play it. It's a side-scrolling karate game. So yeah, actually Jordan Mechner created a karate game. That was the first thing that he did. And that was one of the first PC game, well, first PC game. I guess that was one of those PC games that was easily available and a lot of people was playing because it was fun. Maybe that's just a remaster of it. I should check that out. Katamari Forever, which is part of the Katamari franchise. I never played this version of the game, but it's that thing where you you basically have that weird ball of junk things that you find in a room, and the more you pick, the more it's growing. It seems to be fun. I never played it and I didn't play this one. Killzone Shadowfall, one of the latest Killzone of the Killzone franchise. I never played the Killzone franchise, but I know that in the past it was either Call of Duty, either... What's the name of the one that was on Xbox? The one that was done by... Oh my goodness. There's one episode that is named Judgment. Gears of Wars. Either Gears of Wars, Call of Duty, or Killzone, which was the Sony game. That is like an FPS with action and stuff like that. I never played any Killzone. I don't remember if it was part of a PS Plus collection. I think it was. That is Killzone 2, an older version of the game, like on PlayStation 3. We also have Killzone 3. And we also have Killzone, the original, in HD. Yeah, it was originally released on PlayStation 2, but I don't remember the PlayStation 2 version of the game at all. But I never played any of the Killzone, really. Alright, next is Kinetica. Never heard of that, but apparently it's coming from PlayStation 2, and it's published by Sony, so hopefully they bring it back. And I don't know what it is about. It looks like a racing game. King Oddball. I think it's some kind of puzzle game, but I never played it. Kingdom New Lands. It's interesting that we have Kingdom New Lands because it's the remastered version of the original name Kingdom. I never played any other Kingdom, unfortunately, but I always heard some good stuff, and every time that I see that 2D pixel art that they have, I always want to play it. So one day, maybe one day. Knack! Yes, Knack would be part of PS Plus, but Knack 2 is not yet, which is really weird. But anyway, Knack is the first game. It's like an adventure game, like a platformer adventure game, like, well, platformer action game, I guess. It seems really cool to play. I need to play it one of these days, but I never did. Alright, Neat Underground. So it seems to be a game that is somewhat a platform game, and probably within the same style than Limbo, because once Limbo came out, like tons of games similar to Limbo came out. They all looked great, by the way. I think that genre is really good. It's better than classic platformer for me personally, but sometimes the classic platformer can be fun. And last here is Kung Fu Rabbit. I never played this one either, but I assume that it's like a platformer. Alright, that was all for the K. We're pretty soon at the 30 minutes. Okay, we have approximately 10 minutes. So let's continue with L, but probably L will be the last one. Lead and Gold, Gangs of the Wild West. Never heard of this one, but apparently it's a third-person shooter. Legacista. Actually, I don't know this one either, but the style really looks like usually what Nipponishi Software is doing. So, for people that like this game, maybe it's a good game too. They named that a survival action RPG, but it seems to be a dungeon crawler in a sort. Anyway. Legend of K Anniversary. I always thought that that game looks pretty good. It's kind of like an action game. One day I should play it. It seems pretty cool. It reminds me of that Star Fox game that they did on GameCube, which is more like an adventure game. Action-adventure game. Next is Lego Batman, the video game. Yes, they have a lot of Lego games, and by the way, so far no news about having any of the Lego games on PlayStation Plus, if I remember properly. But this one is the first Batman game that they did as Lego. Then you have Lego Indiana Jones 2, The Adventure Continues. The first one will be there too, by the way, but we'll see it afterwards. Lego Star Wars, The Complete Saga. Lego's Batman 2 DC Superheroes, where you can play with Superman as well. Lego's Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, which in this case there's a lot of other additional characters from the DC comics. Lego Harry Potter Years 1 to 4. Lego's Harry Potter Years 5 to 7. And Lego Indiana Jones The Original Adventure, like I told you earlier. I kind of like the older generation of Lego games where actually you don't hear voices like this one, because I think it's funnier. But anyway, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, the video game. Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars. It's funny because the one that I played, which is the Lego about the Lord of the Rings, is not here. Lemmings. Oh, Lemmings, it's been so long. Lemmings is like a simulation game. You have to make sure that your lemmings are not dying, and you have to make sure that you bring them to a certain place, and you have to use different items, because some of them may have umbrellas to go down, some of them may add bricks into the road, some of them can have a hammer to actually like, well, a hammer, not a hammer, whatever you name that, like to like the things that you use in mines to actually break the rocks. Anyway, then Leo's Fortune HD Edition. It's a platform game, adventure game. I never played this, so I don't know much about it. Limbo. So Limbo, I did play it, I did finish the game. I found the game fascinating. Stressful, but fascinating. It kind of reminds me like the era where you have flashback, and particularly another world that we saw earlier on the A list. And Limbo is just, I don't know, it's just a great game. There's just something special about it, you know. I didn't do a game preview of it, but eventually one of these days I will. Next is Linger in Shadows. Never played that game, but apparently it's published by Sony, so hopefully it's gonna be there. They say that it's an experiment into the realm of interactive digital art. Oh, interesting. Little Big Workshop. Never played this game. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it either. But it's pretty recent, if I'm not wrong. Little Big Planet 3. So that is a platformer game that uses some very specific features that I always found like fascinating. Sackboy is an interesting character in my opinion. Now the things I'm gonna say is that I don't remember seeing it on any of the lists yet, and that's really surprising because Little Big Planet is owned by Sony. So my hope is that we're gonna have all of them. Even here they have nearly nothing. We could have a card game, we could have the other Little Big Planet, and so far nothing except this one. Lux Quest, which I think is an RPG, 2D action RPG, tower defense hybrid. I never really played it, but I know that it's a game that used to be even on DS, on Nintendo DS. Alright, next is Loco Roco Cocorecho. Loco Roco Cocorecho. It's kind of like a rhythm game. I never understood how to play it when I played it on PSP at the time, but hopefully playing it more, maybe I will. It's part of a PlayStation Plus collection, this one will not disappear. And Loco Roco Remastered, this one will not disappear either, it's gonna be there. Lone Survivor, the Director's Cut. This is kind of like a survival adventure game that is very scary for being in 2D, and that's very interesting. You should try it. You'll see. You'll see what I mean by that. I think I played it very, very briefly, but I never did like a game preview or anything of it. Next, Lords of the Fallen. I don't know much about that game, but it was recently added on PlayStation Now, if I remember properly. It seems to be like an action game. Lost Planet, which is the original Lost Planet. There's multiple Lost Planet, by the way, but this one is the original one, which I think is the one that people like the most. Then Lost Planet 2. And then Lost Planet 3, which I think is the one that people dislike the most. I need to check, I don't remember. I need to play that Lost Planet franchise just to see how it looks like. It's fascinating to me because I feel like it has that space kind of like story with open world, and I don't know, I'll have to try it out one of these days. Lost Sea, I don't know what it is about. Action adventure game. The design kind of reminds me Tomba. Lumines Supernova. I never played any of the Lumines. I heard that it's a puzzle game with music. It seems to be very interesting. Hopefully they keep it. And that's the last of the L. And I think that's where we're gonna stop. Yeah, we're gonna stop here, except if the M are pretty fast to do, but it doesn't seem like it. No, there's a lot of them. We're gonna wait for another video. So thank you for watching Tosso Show. I'm gonna continue to do those videos up until I finish all that listing. And I hope that it gives you an idea about what we're gonna lose. And hopefully we're not gonna lose a lot, or we're gonna lose nothing. That's my hope. But we'll see what PlayStation is gonna do with PlayStation Plus Premium. Alright, talk to all of you soon. Bye!